Will the Middle East be plunged into yet another war and the U.S. dragged into it? I'm Robin Kinderman, and you're watching JBS Straight Talk. This past weekend, on September 14th, oil refineries in eastern Saudi Arabia were attacked. A group based in Yemen known as the Houthi movement officially claimed responsibility for the attack in response to Saudi Arabia's intervention in Yemen's ongoing civil war. As Warren Mass reported on thenewamerican.com, soon after the strike, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo charged that Iran was behind what he called an unprecedented attack on the world's energy supply, and asserted that there was no evidence the attacks came from Yemen. Following the attacks, Pompeo tweeted, "Tehran is behind nearly 100 attacks on Saudi Arabia, while Iranian President Rouhani and Foreign Minister of Iran Zarif pretend to engage in diplomacy. Amid all the calls for de-escalation, Iran has now launched an unprecedented attack on the world's energy supply. There is no evidence the attacks came from Yemen." Okay, but what evidence is there that Iran, which has denied any involvement, was behind these attacks? And even if they were, does that mean America needs to come to Saudi Arabia's aid? We are already known as a main supplier of its weaponry. Did you know that during the Bush and Obama administrations, total U.S. arms sales to Saudi Arabia increased by nearly 97%? During the last 3 years of Obama's presidency, the U.S. sold nearly $36 billion in arms to them. And in Trump's first year in office, notifications of U.S. arms sales to Saudi Arabia increased to nearly $18 billion in 2017 alone, the highest amount sold to any country that year. Clearly, they have the funds, allowing them to be one of the most powerful and advanced militaries in the region. Surely, they should be able to take care of themselves. So, the attacks over the weekend left Saudi Arabia's oil production cut by about half, which accounts for about 5% of the oil produced in the world. Fortunately, nobody was injured and the fires were contained within a few hours. According to Saudi Arabia's Ministry of Interior, the fires were a result of drones, but they did not identify Iran as the culprit. The timing of this attack raises some questions when looking at the firing of U.S. National Security Advisor John Bolton. You see, Bolton and other globalists have been itching for war with Iran for years. Bolton is not only a member of the Council on Foreign Relations, but is also a neoconservative hawk, quick to suggest the use of force and regime change when it comes to dealing with Iran. Could this unrest be just what the globalists need to justify the installing of a new democratic pro-Western government in Tehran, like it did in Kabul and Baghdad? That could certainly be a step toward integrating the Middle East into yet another regional grouping on the path toward world government. With all that is happening, keep in mind that there are always other factors in play that push these wars. We as Americans shouldn't get caught up in all the headlines and instead heed the advice of our founders by avoiding entangling alliances. This is why we urge you to contact your representative and senators and urge them not to let the executive branch rush us into another war without first a proper debate and declaration of war from Congress, as required by the Constitution. Until next week, take care and God bless.